much from campus. Come on, tell me what. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one.
All right. Welcome to Campus Connection here in the family station Love 101. If you are new here, I am Jonathan Fletcher, riding solo this week, but we're still going to have a grand time. And Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. Let's have a word from our sponsor.
Project Rock, we're rocking with that. Project Rebuild, overall and construct the security force. Yeah, we're looking at that. Better surroundings for a better state of mind. New vehicle mobilization, help secure our nation. Investing in facilities for modernization. It's rehabilitation, relieving frustration. Not just for the force, but for the citizens. Them say what? Project Rock.
Building today for a safer tomorrow. A message from the Ministry of National Security and Peace.
There you have it, a word from our sponsor, the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. This evening we have quite an interesting show planned for you. The topic that we will be focusing on is how you can take control of their data. That's something that is super important for the kind of society, the world that we live in. A lot of our data is not as protected as you may think. What we deem to be private may very well not be as private as we think it is. So we want to, of course, explore that this evening. But before we get to our main segment, we have our education news and bulletin. We also have our honor roll with Melanie Loney, Senior Prefect at Magate High School. And then Brianna Edwards, student at UWI, comes to us with I Chose Christ. And then, of course, we will be joined by the Data Protection Officer from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Miss Tammy Jo McLaughlin, alongside St. Catherine High School students, Council President Miss White, and Vice President of the Interschool Christian Fellowship, Mr. Leandre King. And we'll be talking about, as I said earlier, how youth can take control of their data. So before we get into everything, I wanted to take out your notepads, open your note app as we learn from Camille Lawrence, our campus consultant, regarding the education news and bulletin.
Education news and bulletins for Tuesday, January 27, 2026. Boost for agricultural education in schools. Manchester High and Homewood Technical High Schools are set to improve agricultural education with the donation of vertical hydroponic towers and goat houses by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. Speaking at a handover ceremony held at Manchester High School on January 22, Minister of State in the Ministry, Honorable Franklin Witter, said both initiatives reflect how agriculture is being transformed by combining education, technology, and production. Vertical hydroponic towers are highly productive, water-efficient methods for growing fresh produce in urban areas, using up to 95% less water. They are ideal for tropical climates, allowing for year-round cultivation of lettuce, herbs, peppers, and tomatoes. The state minister said they will allow students to learn science, nutrition, technology, and entrepreneurship in a practical way. Mr. Witter underscored that the ministry's forward-thinking solution to address challenges in the sector is to bring food production directly in urban communities through the use of vertical hydroponic towers, which allow crops to be grown in very small spaces. Parents urged to reinforce peaceful conflict resolution and healthy behaviors among students. Parents and guardians are being encouraged to reinforce peaceful conflict resolution practices and to promote healthy behaviors among students as part of ongoing efforts to ensure a safe and productive school term. Health Promotion and Education Officer for Westmoreland, Gerald Miller, said that while conflicts are inevitable in school settings, they must never be resolved through violence, as this can have serious public health consequences. He pointed out that violent conflicts among students have in some instances led to severe injuries and even loss of life, underscoring the urgent need to promote alternative approaches to resolving disputes. He further emphasized that violent behavior places additional strain on the health system, as injured students often require medical care. He also reiterated the importance of maintaining continued vigilance to prevent the spread of communicable diseases within schools. He emphasized that persons are to ensure hands are clean by washing them thoroughly with soap and water, avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands to prevent the transfer of germs directly to vulnerable areas of the body. And now for the bulletins. The Linstead District of Churches New Testament Church of God presents Worship Unrehearsed, The Experience, an evening of powerful worship, prophetic utterances, and uplifting music in the presence of the Lord. January 30, 2026, starting at 6:30 p.m. at the Linstead New Testament Church of God, St. Catherine. Come with your praise and a special offering. That's Worship Unrehearsed, The Experience, this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Get ready for Unashamed 2026 under the theme The Harvest is Plentiful. February 1 at UWI Mona Campus starting at 6 p.m. sharp. Join us for an unforgettable time of worship and blessings from the Lord. Come expectant, come ready, and let the Lord renew your soul. That's Unashamed 2026, February 1 at 6 p.m. A powerful worship experience awaits you. Join us on February 6 and 7, 2026 for Hours of Worship, the Resubmission. Get ready for worship, prayer, and intimacy at the UTEC Students Activity Center. For more information, visit hoursofworship.ja on Instagram. That's the education news and bulletins for Campus Connection. I am Camille Lawrence.
Where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price. We see the yard. I want to go on from campus. Young people are going hard from campus. Come on, tell me back one.
All right, a bit of technical difficulty there, but we are back and we're going straight into our honor roll segment with our amazing student here, Melanie Loney. She's a motivated and disciplined student who has achieved 9 CSEC subjects, all at the grade 1 level. She's actively involved in her school's debate society and challenge quiz team, which have helped her develop critical thinking, communication, and teamwork skills. She's a committed Christian, member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and that has really helped to shape her values. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud of this young lady. All right, and here she is. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Welcome to the show. We're so happy that you are here with us. How do you describe your time at Magate High School, going from different grade levels and stuff like that?
So I'm actually a new student. I joined Magati in September 2025, and it has been a great experience so far. Being a new student, I felt very welcomed, and I really appreciate how at this school they encourage self-development just as much as they encourage academic success. And I truly believe that this school has a very suitable environment for both academic growth and self-development.
Impressive. And what is impressive as well is that you're not just a student, you have basically, because you're saying from September 2025 until now, but you're a part of the debate society and you're also a part of the school challenge quiz team. how have you been maneuvering those spaces and balancing them with schoolwork?
So my key is having a schedule, having precise times of when to do each activity, and also self-discipline, because having a schedule is good, but without self-discipline, then it doesn't really work. So I have set times for when I do my academic activities and time for debate, time for school challenges practice. And I have to find myself actually go with times that I set out for those activities.
Okay. And the truth is, I said that it really takes a village. What's your village like, and how important is support for you to really help you to be successful?
So I think that I have a very good support system. My family members are very supportive, and in this new environment, I'm also getting support from my coaches and my principal, who saw potential in me that I didn't even see in myself. So I think I have a very good support system, and they have enabled me to accomplish a lot.
I want to touch on that a bit more. You said that your principal saw something in you that you did not even see in yourself. What was that like when you had that kind of person speaking into your life and really showing you something that you've never seen? What was that wake-up call like?
So when I came here, I was a very shy, reserved student, and his words of encouragement, I think they played a major role in my skills and abilities that I have now. Just somebody speaking good over my life and encouraging me and telling me things about myself that I did not even know. I feel like those have really helped me to be where I am right now.
Love that. Love that. And I really do hope that, teachers, principals, coaches, we're all listening to really hear how important it is to see the value in our students, our campus sites, for them to truly understand what is the kind of potential that they could possibly explore and stuff like that. I'm sure you've had your fair share of challenges based on, coming up over the years. One such, because you're in St. Elizabeth, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. And you would have experienced the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. What is it like now? How are you finding things, after picking up the pieces?
So it is extremely difficult. I still don't have electricity at my house, and it is extremely difficult to not have access to the internet and still have to be doing studies. And then you also have school challenge with study. We did not have lights at school until the end of December. So it was really a setback. But I think that I am resilient and I'll be able to push through all of this.
Wow, absolutely powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are speaking with Melanie Loney. She is a student of Magotay High School, a senior prefect at Magotay High School, and you are inside our honor roll segment on the Family Station Love 101's Campus Connection. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll have more inside Campus Connection, so you don't want to miss that. Stick and stay with us after these messages.
Make an impact on your career. Earn real money. Get 3 to 4 local and international certification in practical nursing and early childhood education with free CXC or CAPE subjects in 6 to 12 months at Distinction College, located at 26 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 6 Nugent Street, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios. Earn global certificates in 3 months in geriatric nursing, phlebotomy, childcare. We have the lowest school fees around. Classes begin very soon. Call us 356-4177 567.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 5:45.
We have to protect the woman and the youths now. Elderly in a fear them get shoot down. You me tired if me tell you not the truth now. This is what we have to do now. Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life. What we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
A message from the Ministry of National Security and Peace.
Hurricane Melissa may be over, but the emotional impact can linger. It's normal to feel anxious, sad, or overwhelmed. Talk about your feelings, stay connected with family and friends, and reach out for help if you need it. Call the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888 New Life. That's 888-639-5433. You can also access the UMatter chat line by messaging the word support to 876-838-4897 or at UReport Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strapped up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection, brought to you by the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. If you're just joining us, we're in our honor roll segment, and we're speaking with Melanie Loney, who is a senior prefect at the Magotay High School under the leadership of Mr. Sean Graham. Earlier, she was sharing how Mr. Graham would have seen something in her that she didn't really see in herself. And now she is on the debating team and also one of the members of the school's challenge quiz team. So that is absolutely powerful, the way in which one person could have seen something and she just acted on what was spoken over her. But Melanie, when you look on what's going on right now, what's one word of encouragement could you give to our campusites who may very well be distracted? They're probably not as interested in school as they should be. You know, based on where you sit as a senior prefect, what would you say to that student, that campusite who is listening right now and be like, all right, cool, let me just wrap up this school thing?
So I think that, well, this might sound a little, but there's this thing that we heard in primary school that says education is the key to success, right? And I think most of us, like, as we go through life, we forget that, but it really is the key to success. Education is something that can break a lot of generational curses. It can take you out of your situations as it relates to financial situations. And I just think that you're doing this for yourself. Just remember that you're doing this for yourself. When you go to school, when you get educated, all of this is for you. And when you do that, you'll be able to reach out to others and you'll be able to help them. So getting educated it really is the key to success. And when you're successful, you're able to not only help yourself, but to help others.
Love that. Love that. And as we wrap, do you have anybody you'd want to big up in literally 30 seconds? And go.
Most importantly, I would like to thank God. I think that He has enabled me to accomplish everything that I have right now. I want to thank my parents, my coaches, other family members, and my principal.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our honorable star, Melanie Loney, who is a motivated, disciplined student, prefect, senior prefect at the Magotay High School, joining us here for our honor roll segment. And if you'd like to be highlighted on our honor roll segment, if you're a teacher and a student who would be the one perfect for something like this, send us an email at love101campusconnection@gmail.com. That's love101campusconnection@gmail.com. Melanie, thank you so much and all the very best for the future.
Thank you.
All right. Wow. I'm always so inspired by the next generation and the different things that they are maneuvering. We're living in unprecedented times, as we've heard it several times, but they're pushing towards their goals, and I think that is absolutely incredible. Melanie, she's in St. Elizabeth. She doesn't have electricity at this point in time, but she's still doing what she needs to do. Her school just received electricity at the end of December, and she's still pushing for all the different things that she wants to accomplish. So kudos to Melanie on that. We are going to be hearing from Brianna Edwards now. She's a student at the UA, and she'll be telling us why she chose Christ.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brianna Edwards, a student at the University of the West Indies. And today I want to share my testimony of how I truly connected with Christ. The word of the Lord tells us in John 8 and verse 36, "Therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed." And this is a verse I hold on to dearly because I believe in the liberating power of Jesus Christ. During high school, I was always a Christian, but I was lukewarm to an extent. But the good thing about it is that I was able to acknowledge that I was struggling and truly needed a connection with Jesus. I found myself hanging out with toxic friends and being involved in situationships that did not glorify God. It felt almost impossible to let go of the things I was used to, because even though I wanted to serve Jesus fully, the world also looked enticing, so I wanted to be in the middle. It felt as if I was in a spiritual pit. That's how I felt, really, burnout and empty. But in the midst of all this, I would pray and I was asking God, to deliver me and to set me free. Little did I know that God and the devil was in a tug of war over my life, and it was left up to me to now make that decision of choosing Christ. And so I remember one summer, I went to a teens camp, and I only had one motive: to be filled with the Spirit of God and to be delivered from every distraction. And so at the chapel service, I went to the altar on the second night, and I closed my eyes and just started to worship when I was brought into a vision. I saw myself in a physical pit, and there a hand reached down from the heavens to grab me. Without a second thought, I reached up for that hand and had a personal encounter with Jesus that night. And from that night of surrender, my life has never been the same. I was able to boldly cut off all the ungodly connections, walk in my true identity as a child of God, serve with power, serve God fervently, and now being a young Christian who is on fire for Jesus Christ. And it has been a truly transformative experience. And so because I choose Christ, you should too.
Beautiful testimony there coming from Brianna Edwards, talking about how there was a tug of war, so powerful, a tug of war over her soul. God on one side, the devil on the other side, and she had to make a decision as to where she would go. Thankfully, she chose Christ. And if you'd like to share your testimony of how you chose Christ, feel free to send us your testimony audio to love101campusconnection@gmail.com. That's love101campusconnection@gmail.com. We are gearing up for our main segment, but we have a little, something new for you. We have our listeners' response, a quick fire engagement segment, that we want to do. And you want to really stay with us throughout the rest of the program, because there are prizes to be won, but you must be able to pick up your prize at 81 Hagley Park Road on Friday, January 30, 2026. So you want to stick around for that. But we're talking about how youth can take control of their data. That's how youth can take control of their data. Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. So want to welcome our guest for this segment. We have Tamijo McLaughlin, Data Protection Officer from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. We have Kasare White from the St. Catherine High School Student Council. She is the president. And we have Leandre King, Vice President of the Interschool Christian Fellowship. And we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So the truth is, from classrooms to communities, safeguarding information keeps our citizens safe, right? It strengthens national resilience. You know, it empowers our youth and secures peace for the Jamaican society. So, Tamijo, starting with you, how important is data protection?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, data protection is critical in safeguarding one's personal identity against identity theft. So, this happens when someone uses another individual's personal information, such as your TRN, their NIS, your banking information, your home address, and even your email address without permission to commit fraud or other crimes. So, data protection helps protect young people from scholarship fraud, scholarship scams, and fake job offers. Because, you know, us young people, when we're on social media posting, we like to announce our wins, and it makes it easy for exploiters to harvest our data and to send us fake opportunities that they believe might be interested, and that may lead us to being even trafficked. So protecting our data also acts like the shield between youth and being recruited for sexual or labor exploitation and kidnapping.
And you are a data protection officer, right? And just in case campus site is listening and they say, oh, data protection officer, that sounds a little cool. Could you shed some light on what's your job? What's that?
So a data protection officer is an assigned officer responsible for ensuring compliance with the Data Protection Act, that's 2020, and also acts as a point of contact for data subjects and the Office of the Information Commissioner. So you might be wondering, who is a data subject? So a data subject is an individual whose personal data is being processed. So I'm a data subject, you are a data subject, and the students online are also data subjects.
Interesting. Very, very interesting right there. So many things to explore. I want to bring our students in for them to share with us as well. Kasare, Leandre, are you hearing me?
Good afternoon. Yes, I am. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Leandre? All right. It seems as if Leandre is having a bit of technical difficulties. But Kasare, this is going to be, I want you to answer the questions as quickly as possible. We're going to have some rapid fire questions.
Okay,
Don't think about them too much. Just, you know? All right,
so what
ready?
if I get it wrong? What if I get it wrong?
No, man. Tammy Jo is here. She'll help to break it down just in case. All right, you ready?
Yes, ready.
All right, which is safer? A, using the same password everywhere, or B, using different strong passwords? Fast.
Using different strong passwords.
All right, Tammy Jo. All right. You see, you're going on well. You're doing well. All right, next question. Data privacy is just about keeping secrets. True or false?
It is true.
Tammy Jo?
No, that's indeed false.
It's indeed false.
It's about protecting rights, building trust, and ensuring peace in the state.
All right. We're going to jump straight to a quick break, but we wanted to stick and stay with us after these messages. Remember, Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. More after these messages.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, but we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of 6 o'clock. Clean hands are good for your health. In the wake of Hurricane Melissa, protecting your health includes a simple act: washing your hands. Use soap and safe water to remove dirt and germs after cleaning, before eating, and after using the toilet. If clean water is limited, use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Remember, clean hands stop the spread of disease and help to keep families safe. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the Family Station Love 101, and Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. If you're just joining us, we are talking about how our young people can take control of their data. And I really want to find out from you, our listeners, do you think your data is protected? You know, what's going on with that? We're joined with our students, Leandre King, and also Kazare is here with us, Kazare White. And we also have Tammy Jo from the National Security and Peace. She's a data protection officer. So Tammy Jo, before the break, we asked Kazare the question. We wanted to find out one very thing as relates to data protection. Is it just keeping a secret? But, you know, that's actually false. Could you shed some light on that for us?
Okay, so one of the tips or useful tip is that when you're using strong passwords, so to ensure that they are lengthy so that persons can easily guess those passwords, and maybe being more cautious of what you share on social media, and also be able to recognize phishing attempts. So phishing attempts are fake emails that are used to share your personal information, which helps in the digital landscape.
All right, so there you have it. So it's more than just keeping a secret from a few people. There's a lot more that goes into it. But Tammy Jo, staying with you, in today's information-driven world, every bit of personal / sensitive data that can be used to identify you, for example, your full name, your date of birth, your TRN, your address, your email address. Tell us why our young people should care about data protection.
So data protection is crucial in safeguarding one's personal identity against identity theft. So this happens when someone use another individual's personal information, you know, such as their TRN, their banking information, and their home address. So the data protection protects young people from scholarship scams. And because when we use our social media, we need to be more mindful of the things that we share and who is there with us when we're sharing type of information. So we just have to be mindful about our surroundings and question things like, why do they need my information? How is it important to them? So things like those they can be mindful of when they're using their personal information.
Okay. And I really hope our listeners and our viewers are making note to really understand how important this data protection thing is. I am reliably informed that Leandre is joining us via phone. We had a bit of technical difficulty earlier. Leandre, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Awesome. So, Leandre, we are doing some rapid fire questions. We asked Kazare one earlier, and I'm going to, shoot one your way. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. Your school records are part of data protection. True or false?
True.
All right, all right. Yes, that is absolutely true. School records contain personal info. Protecting them keeps our young people safe and supports citizen security. Tammy Joe, could you shed some more light on that? All right, seems as if we are having a bit of technical difficulty there. No worries, we continue. Kasari, are you hearing me?
I am hearing you.
All right, I'm going to go into another quick fire question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Data protection helps prevent fill in the blanks. So, what are some of the things that data protection helps to prevent?
Identity theft.
Mm-hmm.
Just one?
Give me two more. You can find two more?
Human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And just two I have right now.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. Leandre, do you want to help her out?
I could add one to that. You could also have fraud.
All right. So data protection helps to prevent trafficking, fraud, and identity theft. Right? So important. Let's go into another one. True or false? Leandre, let's go with you for this one. The Ministry of National Security and Peace's priority is only about crime on the streets, not online. True or false?
That is false.
All right, absolutely. The Ministry of National Security and Peace actually protect both physical and digital spaces because cybercrime and trafficking are national security threats. Let me say that again. Cybercrime and trafficking are national security threats. All right, and it seems as if Tammy Joe is back. Tammy, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Awesome. All right, so with you now, how does our young people or how does youth knowing how to protect their data connect to national security and peace? So our young people being able to protect their data, what does that have to do with national security? Because when you hear national security, that sounds serious, like, yeah.
Yes, it is serious. So youth protecting their data can aid in preventing national cyber attacks, protect government systems, and even critical infrastructure that power the nation's progress areas of e-commerce. So for example, imagine if someone stole your identity, Jonathan, and started a fake online business using your information without your knowledge. This is not only just puts you in trouble with the law because it's your identity that is being used, but it also erodes consumer trust, causing significant financial losses and damages to the nation's local and international reputation. So in a nutshell, it increases operational costs for legitimate businesses because they have to implement security. And you know what that does? It scares off foreign investment. So by helping young people understand their role in protecting data, it reinforces the idea that every choice contributes to a safer and more peaceful Jamaica.
So, Campusites, I hope you are listening very carefully. You are a part of national security. Whether you believe it or not, what you do online can possibly negatively affect national security. No pressure now, but we just have to be as careful as possible as we navigate these social media streets and the different websites and stuff like that. That is very important. All right, Kasari, look like you're ready for another question. You ready?
Yes, I have to defend the one when we get first.
All right. I love it. All right, listen now. If someone offers you free Wi-Fi but asks for your personal info, should you share it or walk away?
Walk away. Absolutely.
Walk away. Tammy Joe?
Absolutely not.
That is indeed correct. So traffickers and scammers often use fake offers to steal youth data.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, all right, good. Give yourself a let's clap her. Good job. All right, Leandre, the competition getting hot right now. I don't even know if it's a competition, but it's getting hot right now. Leandre, you ready for this one?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. You hear that a while ago? That sounds like a young man who is ready for this right now. So let's go. Protecting your data helps protect Jamaica's peace. True or false?
True. That would be true.
All right. Sounds very confident. Tommy Joe, is the confidence warranted?
Yes, he's correct.
Okay. All right. Tell us why.
All right, so when you protect your data, you are ensuring that you secure yourself. You don't let anybody have that information about you in cyberspace where they can do identity theft, as was explained earlier, or, a part to be scammed. So protecting your data is very crucial.
All right. So we are winding down a bit, but there's an exciting segment that is coming up right after our next break. It's our quickfire engagement segment. So winners must be able to pick up their gift from our sponsor here at 81 Hagley Park Road on Friday, January 30, 2026. And you need to send your response to our WhatsApp line. That's 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. So we want to hear from you. Remember, it's a quickfire engagement segment, so you have to type fast, right? If you need to send a voice note, send the voice note, right? But you must be able to pick up your gift from our sponsor here at 81 Hagley Park Road on Friday, January 30, 2026. And just in case you're wondering, Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. And we're talking about data protection, something that is very, very crucial. I want our young people to take control of their data, right? We really want to make sure that our young people understand this whole thing of data protection, which is very, very, very important. And as we continue in our conversation here inside the family station, Love 101, Tommy Joe, when you think of what is going on, what are some practical tips can our young people take to protect their information?
All right, so data protection begins with being mindful. So for example, if you're in a taxi, think about who is able to hear what you're saying and think about what you are saying that can be used. Do you have a privacy screen on your phone? What information are you sharing that persons can hear around you? Question everything that requires you to share your personal and sensitive data that can be used to identify you, which includes even your health information. So our young people need to be actively safeguard their information from the eyes, ears, and hands of others in their daily activities. Unscrupulous people are everywhere, and you never know who is listening or what their intentions are. So even for the parents that are listening, let us agree to stop labeling our children's backpack with their names on it. A stranger can just simply look at that backpack and recognize your child's name and make up a fake scenario, say, hey, your parents told me to pick you up. Aren't you John Brown? So stuff like that, the kid can just easily be kidnapped and gone missing. Even if you're engaging in telebanking, you are sometimes asked verification questions. Stop for a minute and think about what you are about to say and who can use what you're saying. You know, because sometimes the telebankers might call you on your phone to say, verify what is your TRN, your mother's
date of birth,
name, date of birth, questions like those. So you must be mindful of your surrounding. So even if you're about to answer those questions, just look, listen, and see who is around that can easily take away that information. So even if you're in the supermarket paying for your groceries and you know the next person is behind you ready to load on those groceries and you're about to put in your PIN in the card machine, just ask them to step back, or shield yourself so that the person cannot see when you're inputting that PIN information. When you're buying stuff off Amazon, Walmart, do you actually remove your name and your address from the packages before you discard? So things like those, you need to be more mindful and careful of how you are using your data. So even if you're filling out a form and you're going to submit it by email, what do you do with that form after you completed your name, your address, all those personal data? What do you do with that form? So the best way that you can discard of that paper is by shredding it. But if you do not have access to a shredder, what you can do is to tear up that piece of paper and distribute them differently into different, recycling bins, so that the person.
So Tammy Joe, hold that thought. We have to take a quick break. We'll come back with the tips, because these tips are very, very important, but we want to make sure that we do what we have to do. So stick and stay with us after these messages inside Campus Connection.
Oh yes, we create this space just for you. Make we talk about you, make we talk about school.
Just did I get through with no work, I did I get desperate. Till one day I see one ad, but them want somebody for work at a massage parlor. Trust me, the place was nothing like them advertised. From the very first day, I had to be giving much more than massages.
Verify the legitimacy of job advertisements with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. To report suspected cases of human trafficking, call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security and Peace.
Project Rock, we're rocking with that. Project Rebuild, overall and construct the security force. Yeah, we're looking at that. Better surroundings for a better state of mind. New vehicle mobilization, help secure our nation. Investing in facilities for modernization. It's rehabilitation, relieving frustration. Not just for the folks, but for the citizens. Them same one. Project Rock.
Building today for a safer tomorrow. A message from the Ministry of National Security and Peace.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the Family Station Love 101. Proudly brought to you by the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. We're talking about data protection, and we're joined by, of course, a data protection officer. And before the break, she was giving some, tips on how we can actually safeguard ourselves against, our data being breached and stuff like that. So, Tammy Jo, over to you.
All right, so thank you for that. All right, so just to reiterate what I was saying, so be mindful, put in your PIN. You cannot shield yourself so that persons behind you do not see when you're inputting your PIN. You can also use stronger passwords when you know you're creating the passwords. And
you're talking about the shredder as well.
Right. So when you're discarding documents, it's preferably to use a shredder. But if you do not have a shredder, you can just finally tear up the pieces of paper to ensure that persons aren't able to put those pieces back together to see what your information is about. I'm not sure if persons are aware of the Mocha case that has recently happened, where persons were charged with fraud who have harvested persons' data and use their information such as their names, their email addresses, their TRNs to have carried out an elaborate and highly sophisticated multi-million-dollar fraud scheme between January 2023 and April 2024. So through the submission of fraudulently obtained genuine documents and fraudulent identification documents, they were able to carry out these horrendous acts.
Yeah, man. So data protection is actually pretty serious. It's something that we have to take into consideration. Before the break, I would have, mentioned that we have our quickfire engagement segment This is our listeners' response. So you have been listening. I'm sure you guys have an understanding of what data protection is. And here you can now join in on the conversation. Of course, you must be able to pick up your gift from our sponsor at 81 Hagley Park Road on Friday, January 30, 2026. So I wanted to send a WhatsApp message to 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. And I'm going to give you the question. And you just respond, send a voice note, send a message as quickly as possible. So here's the first question. If a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? Let me repeat the question. If a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? So that is the first one. The second question, can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? Let's do that again. Can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? So if you're the first person to answer correctly, then you will win, right? And for the second question, let's give a little explanation, right? So let's read the questions again. If a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? And the second question, can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? So answer yes or no with a small explanation as to why you gave that answer. All right? So remember, you can send a WhatsApp message to us at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. And you must be able to pick up your gift from our sponsor here at 81 Hagley Park Road on Friday, January 30, 2026. This is our listeners' response quick fire engagement segment. So drop your messages. The first question, if a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? And the second question, can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? All right? And give a little explanation as to why you say yes or why you say no. All right? I think our campus side should be able to answer those questions. But Tammy Joe, going back to the practical tips that you would have shared with us earlier on, you mentioned something that I thought was very important, and that's just about us being careful, right? So just being careful with the data, that alone can really determine whether or not we become victims of fraud, trafficking, and stuff like that. Do you think we're doing enough to be careful, though? Or what else do we need to do to make sure that we're being careful?
All right. So I believe no, because even when we are posting online, say that you're posting a post, persons normally like to tag their location. They like to go live on TikTok and share their location.
Yes.
So things like that, you're celebrating your birthday, you post the age online. So the attackers are able to guess and say, okay, this is her birthday. So there, I have that information about her. Her date of birth is right here. And sometimes we use our names as our social handles. So they're able to get your first and last name just by your username. So things like those, we have to be cautious of when we're creating our online profiles and try not to share as much information as possible.
And I'm sure some people listening or listeners listening right now that say, boy, my IG is my first and last name. And they're probably saying to themselves, say, boy, I have to go change that. But something that I've seen personally, the posting of house keys. You just purchase the property and, you post the house keys or the car keys, the kind of car and all of that. Is that being careful?
Well, I would say not really. Because, posting your location, they're easy to probably go online and make a guess to say, okay, it's in this community, that community, probably even track the card, those type of things, and to just know where you're frequently. And then they can also trail you even to where you're home, school, wherever. So I don't think that is safe at all to post those things online.
Absolutely. That's something that I've always wondered about. And I'm glad now that I am getting that information straight from the data protection officer. So the next time I see somebody posting their location and stuff like that, really have to, just give them a nudge to say, hey, no.
Be mindful.
Yeah, be mindful of what you're doing. Want to remind you of our listeners' response, our quick fire engagement segment. We asked 2 questions earlier, and you can, send us a message on WhatsApp with your responses to 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. And the questions: if a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? The second question: can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? Give your answer, yes or no, with an explanation. And you can, of course, send the responses to those questions to 876-997-3125. So if a young person's identity is stolen online, how does that affect citizen safety? And the second question: can poor data protection make young people more vulnerable to gangs and criminal networks? So you can send off your responses to our WhatsApp. All right, Kasare, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
All right, awesome. I wanted to share with us in brief, what are some of the things that our young people or our guardians, parents, teachers can do in these times to help with our young people being safe online?
Firstly, what I think parents or guardians should do, limit access to minors on their devices. I don't know if you might know this, but you might have parental control on minors' devices these days, and I think that's one of the best ways that parents can have access to what the kids are watching, what they're doing online, who are they texting, or certain apps that they're going to download. Because you know that when you have that on the device, only the parents can give authorization to say, okay, you can download this, you can text this, you can, and so forth. Secondly, I also think that when children ask,
all right, seems as if we lost Kasare there. Leandre, quickly, could you share one with us as well, please?
As Miss Tammy said, be mindful of what you share online with the person on the internet, because they can just simply track you or traffic you, even from just your name and your date of birth. So be mindful of what you post online, basically.
Absolutely. Well, we are out of time, ladies and gentlemen, want to thank our guests for this very fruitful conversation. Tammy Jo, Data Protection Officer at the Ministry of National Security and Peace, and of course, Kazare and Leandre, students at the St. Catherine High School, and Leandre, the Vice President of the Interschool Christian Fellowship, ISCF. That's it for the show this week. Next week, we want you to join us, same place, same time, for more Campus Connection. Campus Connection was proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace, Jamaica's partner in advancing progress and building peace. See you next week as we explore more things. Wagwan on campus. I am Jonathan Fletcher.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
You're tuned to Family Radio Broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do stay connected.